Scarface. Speaking about vitriol amongst the movie purists, Scarface remake. They've been talking about it for years and years and years and years and years. They've gone through several directors, several drafts of scripts. I have a feeling that they're starting to really push it hard now because immigration's in the news, like in a really dominant way. I think that's been the catalyst. So what they've done, Terrence Winter has written a screenplay. The Coen brothers have been sent in to polish that screenplay. They have not set a director. There's reports that they've set Diego Luna as the lead actor, and that instead of the Miami kind of story, it's going to be an L.A. story with a Mexican immigrant.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I have a lot of thoughts on this. But first of all, how effing brave does Diego Luna have to be to take on this role? I mean, my God.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, yeah, you have to. First of all, can you? I mean, he was in the Star Wars movie, right? But but he made absolutely no impression on me whatsoever there. I can't say that I've really seen a lot of his work, or if I have, it really hasn't hit me at all.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of his work. I think it's brave. But everyone's saying, oh, another remake. Let's not forget Scarface is a remake to begin with. So this would be the third version. Let's not forget that. Let's keep that in mind. But before we get the outrage,
it's good to remind people that back then, he was in the first movie, Paul Muni plays an Italian.
Yes, a Jew played an Italian.
Yes.
An Italian played a Cuban.
Yes, an Italian playing a Cuban in the 80s. And now we have Diego Luna, who I don't know what his background is. But here's the thing. Okay, so you got Paul Muni, and then you've got Al Pacino, two of the greatest actors of their eras, and then now you've got Diego Luna. Can we get somebody who's a little bit better than that? I mean, how about but they were talking about Benicio del Toro for a while.
Yes.
Why can't they do that?
Maybe he doesn't want to do it.
I think that's a great idea because, God, I love Benicio. I don't know if this will be good or bad, and certainly it has a pedigreed screenwriting team behind it.
Yeah, that's a good team.
It is all going to be dependent upon director for me, because the '83 Scarface is the reason why that survived and it's special is that De Palma, Stone, Pacino, those three voices got together and they made something very singular that set it apart from the Howard Hawks Scarface. This movie has to do the same thing. I don't have a problem with remakes, but it's all dependent upon the talent involved. And the '83 Scarface was so of its time. It hit a zeitgeist that didn't kind of resound until years later, actually, when people could reflect on it.
It was a dud when it came out.
This one has the opportunity to do that too, to be a Scarface of its time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going back and forth with this guy on our Facebook page, and he said, "You're not changing my opinion on this. You don't remake a classic." And I said, "That's what De Palma did in '83." And he said, "Yeah, but what's the classic that everybody knows and loves?" And I said, "Well, in '83, the classic they all knew and loved was the original Scarface." But he knew that he was putting a unique stamp on it, and that made it worthwhile.
Yeah,
it can be the same thing today.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, Scarface ain't going anywhere. It's not like all of a sudden it's going to disappear from existence.
Yeah, the thing you remind people that yes, there's a Paul Muni. First of all, you have to remind people today that there is a Paul Muni one. Second of all, we remember this movie could have been completely different if Sidney Lumet had directed it. So we'd be having a totally different. Yeah, we'd be having a totally different conversation today. Or if Brian De Palma had done what he originally wanted to do and was make a movie about Capone. He really had an inkling to do that too. So It's
well,
like
actually, wasn't it that De Palma? I learned that De Palma was going to do Prince of the City.
Yes, I think that they switched things.
They switched movies. They switched movies at the last minute.
There's a parallel universe where that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been so wild.
And the movie purists, it's it might work, it might not. That's fine, but if it sours the legacy of the '83 film that you love so much, then you never really freaking loved it that much.
Then you never loved it, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Also, I wonder if there's a sense that I think there's a sense that if something is being remade, there's a sense that that people feel that it means that the old one is shitty now. Like, now we think the old one is shitty, but it's a great story, so we have to remake it. So that's not necessarily the case. I mean, we have said on sometimes it is, but we've said on the show many times that remakes are like restagings of plays. No one shits the bed over the restaging of any play. You got a restaging of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? That's fine. You've got a restaging of Shakespeare? That's fine. You cast it all with black actors? That's fine. So let's, the same thing goes with movies, really.
Exactly.
I know it gets tiresome. Like, do we really need, for instance, here's a remake that was announced this week. The David Gordon Green, Danny McBride remake of Halloween. The third remake is the third version of Halloween. Not a very complex story that really needs to be remade.
Well, I am curious as hell what they're going to bring to the table. I have to say, this was not what I was expecting, when I got out of bed that day. What?
Well, let me say this, and this ties in both Scarface and Halloween. Like I said, the '83 Scarface is completely kind of tonally. It's a different movie than the original Scarface. So they need to do the same thing with this Scarface. They need to make it its own Scarface, because the skeleton of Scarface, the story, is old. I mean, it's like the rise to criminal power that we've seen that defines the gangster genre for 80 years.